I'm Colton the Bias. So this is an interesting matchup for a few reasons, and we just went over reason number one. This is going to be a rematch of I should say it's going to be the past two champions in the WWPA going up against each other in this quarterfinal game. And the West meets the East. Biola taking home the championship in 2023. The number 2 seed from the West this year behind Concordia, and the number 3 seed from the East, the Salem University Tigers, the defending champions of this very tournament. Tigers taking their first WWPA title back with them to West Virginia from Concordia a season ago. And reason number two, these two teams already have played each other this year, and it was out in Colorado at the Air Force Invite. These two teams met to begin the 2025 season. It was just the third game for Salem on their season, and it was just the second game for Biola at the Air Force Rare Air Invitational. And it was a contest that Salem won. It did technically not count towards WWPA play, but it was a victory for the Tigers, a close one as well. 19-17 was the score when the two teams met in Colorado at the Air Force Invite back on August 30th. And talking to Robert Boley, and head coach for Salem, he said to his guys, all right, guys, we played them to start the year. Now we're going to play them to see who will head to the semifinals as Biola looks to head back to the championship game for the first time in 2 years in that 2023 matchup. And Salem looks to head back to the championship for the second year in a row, but of course they need to get past Gannon. The winner of this game will go up against the number 1 seed, the Gannon Golden Knights, tomorrow in the semifinals, as the number 3 seed from the West, or the number 2 seed from the East, meets the number 2 seed from the West. Biola finishing off WWPA play 4-2, a chance with the number 1 seed, but that big win against Concordia on Halloween pretty much sealed the deal for Concordia to clinch the number 1 seed from the West and to get that all-important bye to the semifinals. But Biola finishing off the 2025 year as the 2nd seed from the West, and they will be going up against Salem, with the Tigers going 1-3 in WWPA play. Their only win in conference play technically was against McKendree at the Salem Invitational a few weeks ago in Bridgeport, West Virginia, 19-17 final. But the Tigers losing to Gannon twice in WWPA play, and they also lost to McKendree when they played at the WWPA Illinois weekend that was hosted in Illinois by McKendree. So it is going to be an exciting one here to see who will play Gannon for the semifinal. Will we have an East Division matchup in the semifinal, or will Gannon and Biola match up? We will just have to wait and see. And that score when these two teams met in August in Colorado, 19-17 was the final, with Salem getting the victory. So it should suit up for an exciting contest here. The winner of this game will meet Gannon for a trip to the championship tomorrow afternoon. Happy you all are along with us for this game on the WWPA Sports Network, and we are officially underway in Geneva. The Black Caps for Biola and the Whites for Salem, and the Tigers will start off with the first offensive possession of the match. As Biola back on defense with their starting keeper, it is Joshua Dockenhausen, and it is going to go wide. Joshua Dockenhausen, the senior out of California, a health sciences major, with the Tigers still keeping possession. And a chance to the middle, and a foul against Biola. With Salem taking all kinds of time, they got 8 seconds to shoot into the middle, and the Tigers get a goal to start this match. It's going to go to Milan Arsevic, the freshman out of Serbia. And it's 1-0 Salem to start this game. So let's see what Biola can do with the counter on their first offensive attack. And starting in goal for the Tigers, it is 1C. That is Matija Tesarovic. And a chance, and it is going to be turned over by Salem. Getting the pressure is Marko Jovanovic. From Salem, Voras into the middle, trying for a chance, and Biola applying pressure and coming out of the air to get it was Gavin McKenzie. We're going to be saying his name a lot today. Gavin McKenzie, the WWPA first-team member, the only first-team member for the Eagles this year. The Eagles taking their time, and that one's going to bank off of the crossbar. As it hit the post on the shot to Caleb Hernandez, who was a member of the second team. Marko Jovanovic, the first team member for Salem. And a chance blocked! Getting a piece of it is number 18, that's Nick Murray. Salem still controls. Look at the fire! And they reset. They got 20 seconds to shoot. Back at the 2 meter. Now they pull it back. 8-7. Now 6 to shoot. And it is in! Jovanovic, 2-0 Salem. Eagles trying to get on the board. Biola nestled in the Southern California area, making a long trip here. Their trip started at John Wayne Airport in Orange County, a layover in Phoenix, and then a long flight to Cleveland. Towards the middle, it's Hernandez. Or McKenzie make that, and it's blocked on the way towards the net. I believe Nador Voras getting a piece of it. But Biola's going to keep. Calcifin keeping that in. It's Adam Lavoie. Sends it off. Hernandez. And a whistle as McKenzie was controlling her. Actually, make that Calcifin. And an exclusion. Biola trying to get on the board for the first time on the power play. An exclusion against Salem. Into the middle, the one-timer, they score. Nick Murray. The one-timer for the senior out of Chino Hills, California. His 108th goal in his career. And that is how Biola gets on the board. Low-scoring affair, approaching the halfway point of the first quarter. Jovanovic now handing it off to Marko Zivovenovic. Biola looking for a defensive stop and try to head back to tie it. Salem trying to make it 3-1 right here with 7 seconds. But they get a fresh shot clock because an exclusion against Biola. Over to the near side. 20 seconds to shoot for Salem. Well, they push it far. Back towards the 5 meter. Into the middle. Oh, the flip almost. Voras, and he skips it in. Now to Voras. Picking it up. sending it through traffic and making it 3-1. Here's Digby. Sending it far side. Biola trying to get back within one. Digby again. Towards the middle. Turning around and scoring! It's Nick Murray again! And it's 3-2. Marko Jovanovic. On the pass, Ivo Genovic. 15 to shoot for Salem. And a whistle as Samson Hurry. Back control on the far side. And Biola getting possession back at the midline. Applying the pressure was Alec Abrahamian. Noah Radznar into the middle and a whistle and a foul against Salem. It was drawn by Murray in the middle. McKenzie receives the pass. He waits. Back to the far side. 17 to shoot and a rejection, a monster save. Tesarovic. And to keep the 1-goal lead for Salem alive. Boras. Hurry. Jovanovic into the middle and another whistle as they were trying to feed a pass in the middle, right in front of the net. They're trying to send it off to Arcevic. An exclusion against Biola. At the 6-meter line, it's going to rattle off the post. Hurry takes the shot. Another chance to tie for Biola. Radznar. Back to McKenzie. Trying to feed a forward pass into the middle as he tried to find number 8. That's Kevin Slack. Boras. Pass over. Another whistle. Into the middle, and they score! Coming out of the water, and with the goal is Milan Arcevic. And it's 4-2 Salem. Arcevic taking that shot. It seemed he had his head in the water when he took it. And as a result, he has 2 goals in this game. With 1:11 remaining until we move along to the second. Biola, Slack, he fires, and he scores! Kevin Slack, the sophomore, makes it 4-3. .103 left until we move to the second. Salem has been able to counter every time that Biola has gotten within 1. And leading it up is Antonio Sablik. Ivo Genovic with the pass over. Somber back towards the middle. Somber returns. Back over at the 6 meter. Controlled by Voras. And he shoots, and that is denied on the chance for Somber. Beckenhausen getting a piece of it. Another chance to tie for Biola. With 15 seconds on the shot clock and 20 seconds on the game clock before we move to the second quarter. It's Caleb Hernandez. Controls. They got 7 to shoot. Eagles are running out of time to try to get a shot, and another whistle with 3 seconds on the clock. And Biola has to give it back. And Salem will control Tesarovic at the half line, and time runs out on the first quarter. And we're going to have some replays of some of the goals. And we got the first goal that made it 2-0. Salem. Start things off. That one got skipped through, and we move along to our second goal as we move to the second quarter. In our last quarter final game of the day, we'll have one more expedition match with UC Merced taking on Concordia next, and that was the one-timer goal for Biola. And Salem has done a good job so far countering whenever Biola got back within 1, and that shot there and that goal in the middle to make it 3-1. So it's a 4-3 match as we move along to the second quarter inside the SPIRE Institute. A beautiful facility here, to say the least. I want to thank the SPIRE Academy for hosting us. And for anybody out there listening in Southern California with Biola fans, you might know some names that went here, including LaMelo Ball. He spent some time out here after coming back to the States after his time spent playing professionally in Australia. Also, Kate Cunningham also played here. Well, you know the story with all the media attention that LaMelo Ball got because of his father, obviously, LeVar. You just chuckle, chuckle thinking about all the stuff he did when Lonzo was at UCLA, and just thinking about it now with LaMelo Ball spending some time here in Geneva with the SPIRE Academy. As we now move along to the second quarter with a 4-3 lead for Salem. Biola taking the 2023 championship in Illinois. They took down Concordia 18-12. And then Salem taking down Concordia on their home pool as well, with Salem defeating Concordia 16-12 in the championship last year. In 2023, of course, Biola got the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, losing to UCLA 20-7, who would go on to lose in the national championship game to Cal. And then Salem losing to the eventual national champions in the quarterfinals last year when they lost to UCLA 22-6. UCLA would take down Stanford 17-14, and then UCLA would defeat USC 11-8. And for UCLA, that was national championship number 13. So we move along to the second with the opening sprint won by Biola. Dockenhausen waits. Everybody getting back. Finds Caleb Hernandez the start. Biola trying to tie it. Hernandez, pressure by Zivo Genovic. And a chance and a goal. This game is tied. Knotted up at 4. So Salem trying the counter. Jovanovic, Caleb Hernandez getting the goal. Salem looking for the lead back. Zivojanovic with a pass down low. Trying to push it and waits 1v1 and it is blocked! Duckenhausen denies that chance right in front. Dvorak. And the push over by McKenzie to the far side. Another whistle and a foul against Salem. Lavoie in the middle. Trying for the quick pass, but some miscommunication as they tried to send it down low to Murray. And Biola with a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game. Or actually, no, my apologies, wrong side. Salem trying to get the lead back here. With Biola, they had a chance there, obviously, to take their first lead of the game, but Salem trying to fight for it back right here. And a chance and another goal. Voras. Tigers retake the lead. Voras, his second goal. For the freshman out of Edmonton. 50 goals in the regular season for the freshman. McKenzie. Far side. Murray in the middle. We're tied again. Murray with a hat trick. Arcevic. Controls as he waits for his teammates to get back. A trip to the semifinals on the line to face Concordia tomorrow. Zivojanovic down low. Voras. Back to Zivojanovic. Now he pulls it to the middle. Another whistle. And a foul against Biola. With control to Danko Kesic. Past the 2-meter line. Throws near side. Trying to feed another chance. Voras waits. 15 seconds to shoot. I think Salem maybe want a one-timer here. Can they get it far side? They can't. Back in the middle. 9 to shoot, and it is in! A goal! Voras again! And the Tigers take the lead again! And a hat trick for the freshman. Voras makes it 6-5. They led up by Sefin. The Eagles trying to tie again, and a whistle. Possession back to Salem. As the ball went to Murray towards the middle. Zivojanovic handing it off. Voras. A lot of room. Voras wants another goal. He wants the assist here. Sending it past the 2-meter line to Hurry. And it goes back Kesic. Concordia has arrived. And now they are going to go to prepare for their game coming up here. Concordia having a scout of a team they might face in the championship. Actually, my apologies. I said it was against Concordia. The team that will win this game, my apologies, will be taking on Gannon tomorrow. It'll be Concordia and Fresno Pacific in the other semifinal game tomorrow. Into the middle, Murray trying to turn around for a shot, but he was met by Voras. As Concordia will leave the stands on the other side, and they will get ready for their exhibition game coming up against UC Merced. Jovanovic, Dvorak. Jovanovic again. Into the middle, trying to turn around for the shot was Arcevic. And an exclusion against Biola. Voras returns to the middle. Hurry. Right to Voras. Feeds it far side. Hurry. Hurry again, he shoots, and it is going to be denied by Dockenhausen. But the Tigers are going to keep. And a fresh shot clock and the power play. Zivo-Vinovich, 5-meter line. Back into the middle, turning around and scoring. Arcevic again. And it's a 2-point lead for Salem. And a timeout is called by Biola. Timeout called by Jens Cole in his first year at the helm of this program. He was an assistant at Cal State Fullerton. I'm coming over here to lead this program. Rick Nordell was the inaugural coach for this team. He came to the women's tournament to help out. Rick Nordell, the champion for the Biola team in 2023. Biola, they were obviously trying for the repeat last year, but they could not get past one team in the semifinals, and that team was Salem. Salem defeating Biola 19-18 in the semifinals a season ago in Concordia. So these two teams met coast to coast, mind you, and Salem taking down Biola in the semifinals, and they defeated them again a few months later in Colorado to begin the 2025 season. And they meet here again with a trip to the semifinals on the line. Nick Murray was able to get a goal to make it 19-18 with 1:15 left. But Biola cannot get that goal to tie, and as a result, Salem was able to win it by 1. And they would, of course, go on to defeat Concordia in the WWPA championship a season ago. So we'll have the timeout called by Jens Cole. Abrahamian. Cohen Voss. Abrahamian. Biola trying to get back within 1 here. Abrahamian trying for a spin at the 6-meter line. He's going to shoot it. He's got it. Alec Abrahamian, the grad student out of Glendale. And it's 7-6. And then the transfer from Redlands. Won a Division III national championship there. And it's back to a 1-goal game. Zivo-Vinovich with the pass, and now it gets lobbed over to the far side. And a whistle, Zivo-Vinovich. And another whistle as Kesic wanted control, and a foul against Biola. 3 seconds to shoot for the Tigers, and they fire. Oh, it is in! A deflection! A deflection in front. Marko Zivo-Vinovich. Arcevic might have got a piece of it on the way past Dockenhausen. And the Tigers will take it to make it 8-6. The goal is going to go to Zivo-Vinovich. Abrahamian. Past the 2-meter. Abrahamian has it again. He waits. Quick pass. And the shot, and it is denied. Caden Digby cannot find it. Tesarovich with the big stop for the Tigers. It'll be controlled by James Fenner. As the horn sounds. And a timeout is going to be called by Robert Bullion. the longtime head coach for the Tigers. He's been with this program for 15 years. He's also an assistant for the women's team, and he's also the Salem Aquatics director. He's also the head men's and women's swimming coach at Salem. A longtime coach for Salem. And for a few years, Salem was the last Division II independent in the continental United States, along with the University of Puerto Rico at Bayamon, the University of Puerto Rico at Mayagüez, and the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Pedras. But St. Augustine's University in Raleigh, North Carolina, joining Salem as the 2 Division II independents in the continental United States. Salem and their athletics history. There's some names you might know that have gone through there. Jimbo Fisher. He played college football at Salem for a few seasons before transferring to Sanford. And Rich Rodriguez, the head coach for West Virginia University. He was the head coach at Salem for 1 season in 1988. Play resumes, and it is a goal. Another one for Salem right after the timeout. And it's 9-6 Salem. So Biola is down by 3 with 2:02 left. And they have control of the ball. Reisnar. He waits. Controls with the right hand. Looks to fire. Maybe not. Pass instead. Hernandez. Lavoie. Far side. Lavoie again. Into the middle. The flip and the goal. Abrahamian again. And it's 9-7. .136 remaining until we move along to the third. Jovanovic controls it. Divojanovic into the middle, and it is a rejection on Voras. Dockenhausen with the stop. But Salem does keep. And a whistle. Kasic has to retreat. And there's some confusion at the scoring table because the clock did not start. So because of that, we might have a break in the action because of that. I also want to thank our officials for these games. There we go. And the officials for the first game, they were Andrew Selder and Alex Laren. The officials for our last quarterfinals game were David Mays and Chad Packer. And the officials for this one are Andrew Selder and Jay O'Neill, head coach for the women's program at St. Francis. So because of that, we might have a little break in the action because they're trying to fix the clock on the scoreboard here. So since we do have some time, let's see if we can have a look at, we were talking about some of the other conferences that are beginning their championships as well. Got the two on the East Coast with the regular season champions in the MAWPC that went to Fordham. So we got Navy, number 2, against Mercyhurst, number 7. Number 3, George Washington against number 6, Mount St. Mary's. And number 4, Bucknell against number 5, Wagner. And in the NWPC, Harvard, and Princeton getting the first-round byes at the semifinals. Princeton, the 1 seed, Harvard, the 2 seed. Iona taking on MIT, the 4th and the 5th seed game, and Brown taking on LIU, the 3rd and the 6th seed game. And you can't forget about the MPSF tournament as well, with UCLA taking the regular season championship, USC the number 2, Stanford the number 3, and Cal the number 4, the 4 top dogs in all of NCAA men's water polo. And you got Penn State Barron, the number 8 seed, taking on Connecticut College, the 9 seed. Austin College, the 7 seed, taking on Wheaton, the 10 seed. Augustania, the 6 seed, taking on the 11 seed, Washington and Jefferson. And you also got the Big West tournament as well. The number 1 seed going to Long Beach State, number 2 to UC Santa Barbara. Let's see, and you got the first round matchups with UC San Diego taking on UC Irvine. And the number 3 seed, UC, and UC Davis taking on Cal State Fullerton. So those are some of the conferences that are beginning their championship tournaments as well. As we're taking a little break here because there was some confusion with the clock. You also can't forget about the SCIAC as well. Or the Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conference in the Division III ranks. And also the the BWC as well. Actually, that's the Big West. We just went over that one, so. Now we're having a little break in the action here with some confusion with the scoreboard. So, then we got teams that are going to be called over, so. Since we have some time, maybe it's a good time to go over some more history with Salem. They have been a member of the WWPA for 3 seasons now, joining the conference in 2023. And their first time competing in the tournament, they lost to Concordia in the semifinals in 2023. And Salem, they were the number 1 seed from the East, so they got upset by Concordia in the semifinals 2 years ago when Biola took the championship. Salem would defeat McKendree in the 3rd place game, and then, of course, Salem, they took down Biola in the semifinals last year, and they were this is also the first time Salem is playing in a quarterfinal game. Just realized that, too. Salem has never played in a quarterfinal game on the men's side until now because they got the number 1 seed from the East the past 2 years in a row. But, of course, that going to Gannon this year. And Salem took down Biola in the semifinals last year, and then, of course, Concordia in the championship game, then losing to UCLA in the first round of the tournament. And for Biola, joining the conference in 2021. They were the number 9 seed when they took on Fresno Pacific 10-9. And then they lost to UC Davis in the quarterfinals 21-5. And then in 2022, they lost to Fresno Pacific in overtime in 2023. And Concordia and Biola would defeat Concordia in their last game. And then, of course, the championship year last year, Biola taking down McKendree in the quarterfinals a season ago. But like we talked about, they could not get past Salem in that 1-goal game, 19-18. Biola would defeat Gannon in the 3rd place game last year, 14-12. As we sing along to Taylor Swift and just wait to see when we will be able to resume play here at the SPIRE Aquatic Center. With some confusion with the clock, and then they were also trying to see how much time was left. It seems that we got things fixed with the clock, so we'll just have to wait and see how much time will be on it. Because a minute went by. It was stuck at 1 minute and 36 seconds. So we'll wait to see how much time will get put on the clock. Have to shave off some seconds as well. So it seems the clock's stopping right now with 21 seconds. So we just continue the wait and see how things play out. And we realized there was one conference we were missing when we were going over the conference championships for all of the other Division I NCAA water polo conferences. I also forgot about the WCC. Went over the MAWPC, the NWPC, the NPSF, the Big West, and the WCC. That's the only one we missed, so we are finally able to resume play here in Geneva. And Biola trying to get back within one. Lavoie to Hernandez, who waits, still holds. Lavoie, night the shoot, he scores! Adam Lavoie. That is back to back for Biola. "33 seconds on the game clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. So we'll have to see how Salem is going to play this. And also, by the way, the number 1 seed for the WCC tournament was Pacific. We got the first games going up today. San Jose State, the number 2 seed, taking on Air Force. Pepperdine, the 3, taking on Santa Clara. And LMU, the 4 seed, taking on Cal Baptist. So that was a wrap on the other 5 conferences that will receive at-large bids to the NCAA Division I Men's Water Polo Tournament. We'll make sure to keep you updated on scores throughout the tournament. 7 seconds to shoot for Salem. As they tried to go back ahead by 2, they send it off, and a whistle with 4 seconds on the clock. They fire off of the crossbar. Taken by Kesic, and the Hail Mary shot is going to go over the net and over the head of Tesarovic as we move along to the third with Salem ahead by 1. 9-8 is the score. We'll be back for the start of the third quarter. You're watching the WWPA Sports Network. Back here on the WWPA Sports Network for the 2025 Western Water Polo Association Championship as we move along into the third quarter with a 9-8 lead for Salem. And then I got some replays from a few of the goals from the first half of play. Winner of this game will move on to face Gannon in the semifinals tomorrow. We got one of the goals for Biola. That made it 7-6. That goal was in the second. And there was another goal by Biola after Salem got two straight. Biola getting the last two goals of the first half, including this one that we will show you with it being 9-8 as we move to... Or actually, that was Alec Abrahamian. Got that last goal for Biola. Marko Zivojenovic getting that final goal for Salem. Oh, actually, no, wait a minute. Oh, our live stats was down for a second, so that's why there was some confusion there. Now we were able to get it updated. That was actually my apologies. Our live stats did not update. Adam Lavoie getting that last goal for Biola. And Alec Abrahamian getting that goal to make it 9-7. And then Adam Lavoie getting the goal to make it the score we're at the moment. 9-8 with Salem in front. As we move along to quarter number 3 in this quarterfinal game of the 2025 WWPA Championship. Past the 2-meter line. One-timer and a whistle, and possession back to Biola. Salem was ready to wind up, but an offensive foul in possession. Back to Biola, as Arzovic was right in front waiting. Ethan in a whistle. Throws it over as Biola looking to tie. Hernandez, look at the fire. Another foul. Hernandez faking a shot. Now he has a pass, and there's a shot that went to Isaac Dembski, the junior. But he skips it wide. Zivojenovic. Let it up. Now it goes to Kesic. Zivojenovic again into the middle, and trying for another turnaround shot is Arzovic. And an ordinary foul, it seems. Nope, it is an exclusion against Biola. Power play chance for Salem. And they flip it over past the 2-meter. Kesic trying to push it out wide. Near side. Shot! Score! Samson, hurry! He gets the party started to start the second half. And that is the first goal of this game for Hurry. And the freshman out of Houston, Texas. Dockenhausen. Trying to push it up, but a lot of pressure by Arzovic. And that's going to result in a foul. Dembski. Lavoie. Fires, blocked! A major rejection! Tesarovic. A stone-cold stop to keep a 2-goal lead alive for Salem. Into the middle. Jovanovic, and he sent it high of the net. Dockenhausen. He has appeared in 22 games this year, and he also has a goal this season. Making a big stop there. Biola back within one. Adam Lavoie. Goal number 2 for the senior out of Houston. And now Houston represented in the last 2 goals for both sides. Jovanovic. And a whistle is Ivo Genovic. Sends the pass down low to the 2-meter line. Ivo Genovic has it again. The flip. Hurry. Trying for another goal. He is denied. Dockenhausen with another stop. Can Biola tie it? McKenzie. Tash. A whistle. And that is going to hit high of the net. An exclusion against Salem. And a new ball in the play. A chance still to tie for Biola. McKenzie waits. McKenzie has it back again. Another pass to catch. McKenzie again. Left side pass. The catch again. Abrahamian, and that is rejected in front. A swap by Hurry out of the air. Tasarovic setting it off, a one-timer, trying to get it off, and a penalty shot is going to be on the way, the first of the match. Drawn by Ivo Genovic. And the exclusion against McKenzie. It'll be taken by Kesic, the defending freshman of the year. And it's a stop! Oh, Dockenhausen! Dockenhausen gives the ball back to Biola with a chance to tie it again. Abrahamian. And a whistle. Risnar. Back to Abrahamian. 15 to shoot. Rizar trying to find a place to go. A foul with 9 seconds to shoot. He's going to fire, and that is rejected all the way by Voras. But Biola keeps. And a timeout is going to be called by Jens Cole. What a stop there on that penalty shot by Josh Dockenhausen. And we had another penalty shot save for Fresno Pacific in the game that we just had against McKendree. That's one of the goals for the Tigers. That was the last goal for Salem to make it 10-9. And here is the big stop. Dockenhausen denying the chance for Danko Kesic, who was the freshman of the year in the WWPA a season ago. He's also a second-team member and, of course, a member of the all-freshman team. And Kesic, if that would have went in, that would have been his 200th goal in his career. He had 90 goals in his freshman season a year ago. And in his sophomore year, he has had 109 so far this season. And he leads the WWPA in goals as well. Kesic and Marcos Ivo Genovic. And Alexander's co-star right behind him. So a timeout that was called by Jens Cole. Biola still with another opportunity to tie it with 4:11 remaining until we move to the fourth. Dockenhausen. There's Hernandez, who fires above the 6-meter line with time running out. And Tesarovic pushing it coast to coast, and a whistle to foul. Biola not getting called for the exclusion there is Ivo Genovic. Back behind the 2-meter is Salem trying to go back ahead by 2. Kesic fires and it goes wide. Kesic is trying to skip that left side. Dockenhausen. Sleeping. Three more minutes left until we move to the fourth. Seifin waits. Lets it go off the post. Tesarovic regaining possession for Salem, and another timeout is going to be called. There's a 30-second timeout, I believe, and I think it was called again by Jens Cole. Biola also losing to McKendree in the women's water polo championships in Morgantown as the number 1 seed. Tesarovic hands it off. And back to the far side. Power play chance for Salem. Try to go back ahead by 2. 13 seconds. The shoot, another stop! Oh my goodness, Dockenhausen comes up big again. Denying the one-timer, the Gage Buttis. Back into the middle and a whistle as they were trying to feed it down low to Nick Murray. And as a result, an exclusion against Salem. Abrahamian. Abrahamian again. Down low, Seifin, he's got it! Tied at 10! Cal Seifin. Salem now on a mission to try to take the lead back. Ivo Genovic. Sablish. Buttis again. Ivo Genovic. Back to Buttis. And a nice catch by Voras, who turns it into a goal. Now Voras jumping up into the air and sending it past Dockenhausen to give the lead back to the Tigers. Seifin with the catch. As Biola tries to tie again. The Eagles have not led once in this entire match. Salem jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and they've had the lead since. Seifin. Now Digby waits to let it go. 2 seconds, and it's too high. So with $1:11 remaining until we move to the fourth. Salem with a chance to go ahead by 2 again. Kesic. Back towards the middle and a whistle. Right in front. Arcevic. Drawing the foul against Biola. Into the middle. Arcevic. 12-10 Salem. Salem showing out today on why they want that repeat. We haven't had a repeat champion in 3 years. UC Davis in 2021 and 2022. As a result, a timeout is going to be called with 54 seconds on the clock. UC Davis, one of those former WWPA members, now a member of the Big West, taking on Cal State in the first round of the Big West tournament. And for the MAWPC tournament, that will be starting at 4:30. In the first game, it's going to be the number 2 seed Navy going up against the number 7 seed, former WWPA member Mercyhurst. Mercyhurst made the jump to the NCAA Division I ranks. Mercyhurst and Gannon were conference foes when they were in the PSAC and also in the WWPA together, but Mercyhurst making the full jump to the NCAA Division I ranks as a member of the Northeast Conference. So as a result, Mercyhurst made the jump to the MAWPC as well. We'll be taking on the Naval Academy. And the first game in the NWPC tournament is just about to get started in Rhode Island, hosted by Brown. And the 4th and the 5th seed game with Iona taking on MIT. Play resumes here with 54 seconds on the clock until we move along to the fourth quarter. Dockenhausen throws up the midline as Biola trying to get back within 1. Lavoie waits, wants to fire, sending it off, and it is going to be skipped in. Wow, Isaac Dembski. Dembski with his first goal. The junior out of Eastville, California. And the transfer from McKendree. Appeared in 42 games when he was with the Bearcats. In his first year against Biola. With Biola, I should say. And a chance off the crossbar for Salem. Hurry. Try for a chance. 11 seconds. Can Biola get a late shot here? Seafin swimming at the 5-meter. 2 seconds. He waits. He gets it off, and it is going to be denied by Tesarovich to end the third. Seafin racing it up the pool. But Tesarovich with another big stop for Salem. He has 7 saves. And Dockenhausen has 9. So we'll move along to the fourth here. And then we'll got one more game for you. The Expedition match, UC Merced will see the pool again, and they will take on Concordia, number 1 seed from the West. So one more quarter remains to see if Salem will go up against their division rivals in the semifinals, or will Biola go up against Gannon. Biola did not play Gannon in the regular season, but of course Salem did. Their first matchup was in a non-WWPA game at the Bucknell tournament, the Bucknell Invitational in Lewisburg, a game that Salem won 19-16. But Gannon taking both contests where it counts in WWPA play at the WWPA Illinois weekend on October 11th, 21-15, and then Gannon taking down Salem in their home pool in Bridgeport at the Bridge Sports Complex. So high-scoring affair, 28-22. This has been a big defensive matchup as well. That was also kind of the case in the Fresno Pacific McKendree game, a game that Fresno Pacific won 17-13. As we wait to see who will face Gannon tomorrow. It's a one-score game. 12 for Salem and 11 for Biola. And then we'll be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow. UC Merced will close out the tournament with their last 2 expedition games. They'll take on whoever loses this game, and UC Merced will take on McKendree tomorrow morning. And the winner of this game will face Gannon at noon tomorrow. And then Fresno Pacific will take on Concordia, and then we will close out the expedition games with UC Merced taking on the loser of this game. And then the 5th place game will kick things off on Sunday, then the 3rd place game, Game 2, and then, of course, we will wrap up the tournament with the championship game at 1 o'clock on Sunday. A one-score lead for Salem, and Biola wins the opening sprint to start the 4th. Dockenhausen. Lavoie. A whistle. Caleb Hernandez. Trying to send it off to Risnar. Now Lavoie trying to feed it into the middle, but a lot of pressure by Salem, and Arcevic comes up with the ball. Arcevic, a whistle. Sivojanovic. See how Salem will try to play things, maybe try to play a little conservatively and use the clock, or will they try to strike with some goals? They're trying to use the clock to their advantage right now. 15 seconds to shoot into the middle, trying to fire it away, and they have to retreat. I believe that was Voras who tried to push it in. Biola trying to tie it. It's Nick Murray as he lets it go and gets back into position towards the middle. That was the one thing Robert Bullion told me before the game, saying that the centers are going to be a big key for Biola. And one of those players is Adam Lavoie, the Tyots. And the Biola faithful who made the trip to Geneva from Southern California, cheering on their squad with the goal by Adam Lavoie, the Tyot. Sniping it in right through the middle into traffic. Jovanovic. There's Budis. Kesic. Sivojanovic. With the pass to Kesic. Kesic treading water with Seifin. Kesic still holds. He shoots with 5. It is denied again by Dockenhausen. And Biola has a chance to take the lead again. Seifin hands it off. Murray looking to fire, and a turnover. Voraz getting in there and giving the ball back to Salem as they try to retake the lead. Zivojenovic throws it near side, but as Salem retakes the lead. Gage Budis, his second goal for the freshman out of Longwood, Florida. Budis picking it up and sending it past Dockenhausen. So Biola will try to tie it again. Risnarb at the siphon. Demski. Siphon regains control. Risnar fires too high. And Salem has it back. Trying to go ahead by 2 again with 5:24 remaining in the fourth. Jovanovic, Voraz, Jovanovic again, Voraz, Jovanovic into the middle, closer to the net, and it is going to be another stop by Dockenhausen on Arcevic. Dockenhausen with a stop. Can Biola tie the game again? Risnar has it again. At the 5 meter with 7 seconds, the shoe tied at 13. Noah Risnar. And a timeout is called by Robert Bullion. This is where Salem has played at their best. Whenever Biola has gone within 1 or tied it, Salem has been able to take advantage and get back on track. And just saw the replay of that goal for Biola. And that is the second for Risnar. .437 left. A coach that has been in charge of one program for 15 years going up against a coach that is in its first year. Robert Bullion, he has been with this team and this program for 15 years, and this is the first year for Jens Cole. The last 2 champions in this conference. Leading here with a chance to face Gannon in the semifinals. And these 2 teams meeting in the semifinals last year. A 1-goal win for Salem, 19-18. So play resumes with 4:37 remaining in the fourth. And a quarterfinal game that is tied at 13. Kazarovic starts off with Jovanovic off the timeout. Kesic. Zivojenovic. Back to Kesic. Towards the net and a whistle as Hernandez tried for the steal. And a foul, so Salem resets an exclusion against Biola. Budis. Back to Kesic. Budis off the post! And possession back to Biola. Budis cannot cash in to give the Tigers the lead back. Abrahamian. Stephen. Back to Abrahamian. Pressure by Arcevic. Abrahamian trying to feed it down low towards Dembski. And the Tigers get it back. Pressure put on by Zivojenovic. Kesic. A pass on the run. Kesic receives again. Zivojenovic. Some open space. They wait. They fire. They score! Jovanovic! Tigers regain the lead! Off of a terrific pass over to the near side by Voras. Biola gets the green light to resume play. Risner at the midline, trying to generate a scoring chance for Biola. Lavoie, pressure by Arcevic. And Lavoie trying to send it down towards the corner. And a whistle. And controlling is number 14, that's Levi Benjilink. 5 to shoot. Now 3 to shoot. Risner has to let it go. He scores! Oh, Noah Risner again! Ties it at 14. Jovanovic. A whistle, Zivojenovic. Now Kesic. Kesic getting retreated. Zivojenovic down low. Voras trying for control and possession back to Biola with 2.5 left. Dockenhausen finds Benjilink. Zivojenovic on pressure with Risner, who has come up big for Biola. Stephen trying to do that here, he does! Biola takes the lead for the first time in this game! What a shot. So the Tigers playing from behind for the first time with 2 minutes left. Kesic. Zivojenovic trying to feed it into the middle, and Lavoie was there to clear it out. Trying to send it to Arcevic. What a turn of events in this quarter. Safe in. Risner again. Down low and a whistle. And a foul. And an exclusion, it seems, against Salem. No, it's just an ordinary foul. And there's another foul. Risner Tried to let it go, but some miscommunication, and the Tigers are going to get it back. Jovanovic racing up the pole with a $1:12 left. Jovanovic, hurry. Feeding it to Zivojanovic. Into the middle. Voras, Zivojanovic. Got the Voras. The toss back. 2 seconds to shoot off the post! Hurry can't send it home to tie it. And Biola has control with 46 seconds left. Hernandez. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. At the 6-meter line. Riznar fires, it is rejected. Kasic keeping this game alive for Salem, and as a result, a timeout is called. With the shot clock turned off, and with 24 seconds on the game clock, Robert Bullion, no doubt, a timeout. Yeah, you have to draw up something here. Wow, is all we can say. What a game. There was not an overtime game last year in the tournament. The last time a game in championship play that had to see overtime was in 2023. That was in the first game of the tournament in 2023 in Illinois, and it was McKendree taking on Fresno Pacific. McKendree winning that match 17-16 in the first round. So what is Robert Bullion going to draw up here? I believe Nikola Kristonis, excuse me, who was a former player for Robert Bullion, I think is drawing up something here. Robert Bullion talking to his guys as well, also assisted by Jeff Passwater, the head coach for the women's team. Salem has the ball, down by 1, with the shot clock turned off, and the game clock at 24 seconds. Can Biola get the stop, or can Salem tie it? A fresh ball to Jovanovic. Kasic. Jovanovic too high. Can Salem get it back? They do. Jovanovic has it again. He fires and it is denied by Dockenhausen. Joshua Dockenhausen with one of the biggest saves of his life. And with 5 seconds left, Biola has control and the lead still. And a stun Tigers bench. 5 seconds on the clock. As we have a look. Dockenhausen, unbelievable. And back into play, and Salem trying to win it back, but time is going to run out. The Biola Eagles are off to the semifinals. Salem are the champions no more. The late goal by Kyle Seifin, and the big stop to Joshua Dockenhausen. And the Biola Eagles are off to the semifinals for the first time since last year. And they also get the revenge on Salem after eliminating them from championship contention last year. So there will be no repeat winner this year. A one-score game after Salem had the lead for the majority of the game until the halfway point of the fourth. Biola getting the last two goals. And the Eagles will take on Gannon with a trip to the championship match on the line. So Jens Cole will come up to talk to us here, and they will stamp the sticker. And Salem controlling the lead for the majority of the match, but it is Biola. As they will circle around for a united prayer in front. And Biola will stamp their sticker. Noah Risner got that goal to tie it. And Kyle Seffin getting the game-winning goal for Biola. So it's going to be Biola and Gannon. As Biola will stamp the sticker. And Biola has defeated Gannon in the 2 times they have played. As Biola punches their ticket to the semifinals. Biola and Gannon met in the 3rd place game last year, and they will meet in the semifinals. As we will step aside here on the WWPA Sports Network, and when we come back, Jens Cole will come up to talk to us as the Biola Eagles take down the Salem Tigers 15-14. A come-from-behind victory for Biola, and they are off to the semifinals. We'll be back with Jens Cole when we come back on the WWPA Sports Network. We are back here on the WWPA Sports Network here with Biola head coach Jens Kuhl as the Eagles are off to the semifinals once again as they take down Salem 15-14. So, Jens, congratulations. And I want to start off with the mentality that you guys had to play for the duration of the game because you were playing from behind for most of the game. So how did it feel in those last minutes of the game to finally get that goal to tie it and then Steven finishing the job to give you the lead?
Yeah, well, first off, all the glory goes to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I think he's been pivotal in everything that we've done this season. From the jump, we talked about patient endurance was kind of a biblical truth that we really leaned on from the beginning of the season. We kind of fell into a little bit of a slump, and we just hammered in that mentality, and I think they've really taken hold of that. And in big games like that, you need that level of mental endurance to get through it. So we really leaned on our faith. We got the job done defensively. I think we did a great job of kind of holding them to the amount of goals that we kind of wanted them to be at. They got some two or three really good players in 23-3. So I think we did a good job against them, and just happy for the guys. What
do you have to say about the job that Dockenhausen did, especially on that final save to seal this game for you guys?
Yeah, we asked a lot of Doc today. Basically the defense that we were running, we were going to give up shots. We were okay giving up certain angles. And we asked a lot of him in terms of his movement in the cage. We were allowing the ball to kind of move around a little bit. And he did a great job of covering water and coming up with some big saves. I thought the 5-meter penalty block was kind of the backbreaker in my opinion. So he stepped up one-on-one and got a great save for us.
And how does it feel for you to take this team back to the semifinals in your first year in charge of this program?
Yeah, I just really want to make sure that I'm giving a lot of credit to, Coach Rick Nordell. He did a great job of setting the foundation the first 4 years here. We've equated it to like building a home. Rick, he set out a good plot of land, built a good framework for that home, and, we're coming to him and just kind of following suit and building on top of that home. And I think the administration trusts me to kind of add some details to the program, kind of elevate as best as I can. So, a lot of the credit goes to him. And, the guys who are returning, we asked a lot of the seniors to step up and play big minutes with very little rest. And so I think they bought into my mentality, my system. But, a lot of it's still shredded with, Coach Rick Nordell. So a lot of that goes to him as well.
So you're going to be going up against the number 1 seed from the East, Gannon, next. The first time that you guys are going to be squaring off since the third place game last year. Obviously, you were not a part of the program. So what is going to be the mindset for you guys, knowing that the players already have experience, but for you going up against Gannon for the first time?
Yeah, I think for us, we get excited about opportunities, man. We get excited about challenge. We talked about it in the kind of our shoot around yesterday. This is such an opportunity to be joyful about competition, man. I think a lot of us get, all worked up and scared and fearful about competition, and we're just going to lean into it. I think we match up really well with Gannon, especially at the defensive end, but, they're a great team with, a lot of experience and a lot of talent. So I think, for us, it's going to be, we got to play 9-10 guys deep, and guys got to step up and play big minutes. We had freshmen out there for durations of a time that this is their first tournament. So a lot of our program is built on trust and faith, and we're just going to keep on doing that.
Jens, congratulations. Thank you so much, sir, on a terrific game here.
Thank you, guys.
That is Jens Kuhl, head coach for Biola, as the Eagles are off to the semifinals. They will be taking on Gannon tomorrow, and that is going to do things here for the quarterfinal duration of the 2025 WWPA Championship. We're going to move along to our last expedition game of the tournament. It's going to be Concordia taking on UC Merced. Coming up next, we will be back in about 25 minutes or so for the start of that game as Biola takes down Salem here, and they are off to the semifinals. They will be taking on the Gannon Golden Knights tomorrow. If you are just joining us, then we welcome you to the SPIRE Aquatic Center in Geneva, Ohio. But if you are rejoining us, then we welcome you back to the 2025 WWPA Championship. As we already know now who will be facing Concordia and Gannon in the semifinals tomorrow. As Concordia, they will be getting ready for their matchup against Fresno Pacific, and Gannon will be taking on Biola. But Concordia starts off the 2025 tournament, the number 1 seed from the West, with an expedition match against the UC Merced Bobcats. Hi everybody, we are pleased to be with you for the 2025 WWPA tournament. I'm Colton the Bias. Concordia getting the number 1 seed out of the West Division. 5-1 was their record in WWPA play, and 19-12 in overall play for the Golden Eagles. Concordia, a team that has been plagued in the championship match, falling in the championship match 2 years in a row. They lost to Biola in 2023, the team they might be playing for the championship again. We'll just have to wait and see. And Concordia losing to Salem in the championship in their home pool last year. So Concordia, picking up where they left off last year, was one of those teams to beat in the WWPA, and as a result, they finished off WWPA play 5-1, and that was good enough for the number 1 seed for the tournament out of the West. And their only loss in WWPA play was in their first conference game of the year on October 8th against Biola. They took down UC Merced 18-4, and then they took on Fresno Pacific 16-10, I should say, and then Biola 14-9, and then they took down UC Merced 18-5, and Fresno Pacific 14-7. So Concordia, they will be going up against their West Division rival tomorrow to see who will head to the championship. But Concordia is going to get a start on the tournament with the expedition match coming up against the UC Merced Bobcats. UC Merced losing to Gannon this morning 18-14 in our very first game of the invite, and Concordia is undefeated against UC Merced all-time 6 matchups, and they all have gone to the Golden Eagles. Concordia also with a sweep in the all-conference team this year. Pablo de Souza Jr., their keeper, he was named the player of the year. The newcomer of the year going to the freshman number 5, Hugo Wouters, out of the Netherlands. Hugo Wouters also a member of the WWPA first team, along with Dimitrios Karetsos and Pablo de Sousa, another member of the first team. Kai Young, an honorable mention for the first team this year for Concordia, the senior out of Australia, the transfer from San Jose State. And the all-defenseman team, Pablo de Sousa, a member of the all-defensive team as well, along with Porter Rosenloff. He was also a member of the all-defensive team as well, number 2, the junior out of Long Beach, California. And Hugo Wouters being named to the all-freshman team. Dimitrios Karetsos, also a member of the all-freshman team, and Derek Maddox rounding up the lineup for the all-freshman team for Concordia. Maddox, he is the other keeper. He is 1B. And it is going to be the WWPA Player of the Year, Pablo de Souza, starting in net out of São Paulo, Brazil. Or São Paulo, Brazil, I should say. So we have the opening sprint on the way here in our final game of day number 1 for the 2025 WWPA Championship. And the opening sprint is underway. The dark green caps for Concordia as they win the opening sprint, and UC Merced in the white cats for this match.